I just wanted to give an update on social enterprise in New Zealand, because I think it may be translatable potentially to some of your contexts. Before I get into that, I have two questions, and the first one is, how many of you have children? Anybody? I have a 2-year-old son and 3 girls who are older than him, so he's got lots of mothers. But the 2-year-old son loves nursery rhymes, and one of the ones that I say to him is, Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall, Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. And my second question is, does anyone remember the 22nd of February 2011? I remember it because that was the day that the Christchurch earthquake happened. So I was actually in Tokyo, and my parents were in Christchurch, and the city was literally shaken apart. The reason that I mention that in the context of giving you an update about social enterprises in New Zealand is that I think more than just the buildings were shaken, more than just the buildings fell down, I think the way that people think was shaken up as well, in what's turned out to be in a positive way. So the law firm that I work at, stairwells collapsed, and the staff had to be rescued by a crane. And pretty much everybody in Christchurch that you talk to, someone will know someone who had a relative who passed away, or it was very much in your face. And if you go visit, you'll see now it's a construction site, and it will be that for a while. The reason I'm mentioning that is that in my context in Christchurch, that shaking up changed the way that people are thinking in terms of what do they want to achieve, and social enterprise is emerging as a solution or as an alternative for them, rather than traditional for-profit structures. So we're seeing lots of these, what I mentioned, these young people, but it's everybody. We've all had to move out of the buildings that we used to be in, gone into suburban homes, maybe split up as teams, had to think laterally, think of new ways of doing things, and that's resulted in this new approaches and saying, actually, I'm not just about profit, I actually want to make a difference. And I think that's important. You probably have all seen, or maybe you've seen the Simon Sinek talk, The Power of Why. Why do we do what we do? But I just wanted to leave it as a challenge for you. You know, if you're in this room, you probably know what you're doing and why you're doing it. But sometimes it's important to question and challenge, why is it that I'm here? What is the call on my life? And in Christchurch in New Zealand, I think the people there had a confrontation with life in another way, and it's impacted the way that they think. So that's the first update about social enterprise, and maybe why it's really growing in importance and profile in New Zealand, and hopefully leads to a little challenge for you as well. The second thing is that the Social Enterprise World Forum is happening in Christchurch in September, in less than 2 months. And so there's going to be 1,200 delegates from around the world coming to Christchurch. It's a big deal. Like last year it was in Hong Kong, they move it around the world. But that's really providing a focus, a concentration of thinking about social enterprise. And then the third thing is that as we're talking new legal structures, that's kind of emerging. People are saying, well, why don't we have a new legal structure? So it'll be interesting. I guess the thing is, watch this space from over here, be watching in September, and just see what the discussions are that emerge. Because it's a fascinating time to be in New Zealand. It's a unique time because this World Forum is happening right on our doorstep. And I'm in the process of writing a book about social enterprise in New Zealand. So if anybody would like a copy, it's going to be like an ebook that I send out. So come up and give me your business card, and I'm happy to send it to you. And it's going to be like an overview of the New Zealand position. But I think for some of you, it may be relevant to the Australian position, because ultimately, you know, it's not that dissimilar. So that's just a little update from the New Zealand side.
Thank you. I'm just mindful of the time. So